Two trends in education have been gaining steam in the past few years. First, as enrollment declines and many smaller colleges and universities experience budget squeezes, some have eyed online learning as a means to reach more students and potentially to bring down the cost of instruction. Second, law schools have been pushing their accreditor, the American Bar Association, for greater leniency when it comes to online and distance instruction. Both of these trends have converged in the state of Maine this summer, with the release of a committee report advising the future strategy of the University of Maine Law School, which is known informally as Maine Law. Hi, my name is Henry Kronk for eLearning Inside. This is Ed Technically. This episode I'm going to discuss what's going on at Maine Law and how it fits into a broader trend of a push to bring JD degrees online. So a committee convened by the University of Maine system has spent the past months hearing from stakeholders throughout the Maine Law community. They released their findings and recommendations in a report earlier this month. One might say that Maine Law, like many other public institutions, is stuck between a rock and a hard place. On the one hand, according to the report, it very clearly serves a public good. Since it was founded in 1962, Maine Law has educated 5 governors and numerous others who have served the state in one way or another. Of all lawyers currently practicing in Maine, 44% went through Maine Law. But it has also become more difficult to maintain the institution. Enrollment in the program has dropped from 252 in 2011, when many universities saw a peak in enrollment numbers, down to 151 in 2017. So it's not a huge school, but that's still a 31% drop. And this institution has made up for it in part by filling vacated tenure posts with adjunct professors, along with a few other cuts here and there. But they have also been trying to drive enrollment back up with expanded scholarships and incentive programs, many of which kind of erase the cuts that they have put in place elsewhere. In other words, the issue needs a long-term fix, and the Maine Law Committee believes online learning will be a part of that. In their report, the committee, which is comprised of stakeholders in the Maine Law community, both alum and community members, they write, quote, "Technology is providing opportunities for distance and flexible education that were inconceivable a generation ago. Indeed, most students have come of age in an interconnected and mobile world and are demanding greater choice, agency, and cost-effectiveness in their educational experience," end quote. So remote law education stands to have an even greater effect on Maine because it has a large rural population. Getting students to interact with those rural communities is another recommendation in the report, and the committee hopes to set up a system that would allow Maine Law students to gain experience working outside of Cumberland County. That's the most populous county in the state, and it also contains the city of Portland. And so the committee recommends that they set up a program to be able to instruct Maine Law students online remotely while gaining experience in some of the further flung areas of the state. The main roadblock for this effort is the American Bar Association, which the committee describes as quote-unquote Byzantine. While the accreditor has given the green light for 5 schools so far to begin offering remote JD programs, they're a long way from a liberal online learning policy. The Maine Law Committee recognizes that because of this, they don't fully know what the effects of an online degree would bring about down the line. As they write, quote, "The potential for online learning within the law school context is something of an unknown. Because of ABA accreditation rules and other variables, such as the resources required for delivery of high-quality instruction, as a result, the committee is not making a prescriptive recommendation about online instruction." End quote. That said, they do see a good deal of potential in the modality. Besides the rural field placement program, they believe online learning at Maine Law would allow mid-career professionals to upskill more easily. They'd be able to open up to a market outside of the state and even, quote, "source signature course offerings from other law schools," end quote. This has been Ed Technically. My name is Henry Kronk, and I'm the editor at eLearning Inside. If you liked this episode, please rate and review it. If you would like to hear more, please subscribe. Also, keep in mind that this show is available as a video on our YouTube channel and also as a podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Play. The basic content for this video first appeared as an article on eLearning Inside, and if you want to learn more about online courses, technology in the classroom, and EdTech in general, please be sure to check out our site. If you'd like to get in touch with me, please send an email to henry@elearninginside.com. You can also follow us on Twitter @eLearninginside. Thanks for listening.